Hello students, welcome to this online course of Water Resource Engineering. So today we are going to discuss our new topic, that is cross drainage works. So as the name is suggesting, it is a kind of work in which there will be some kind of crossing of the drainage, natural drainage. So let us see what is cross drainage works. A cross drainage work is a structure which is constructed at the crossing. So you have to be careful with the words. At the crossing of a canal and a natural drain. So whenever, if it is a natural drain, our canal is something like this. So somewhere we are going to cross this drain. So the structure which will be constructed over here will be termed as the cross drainage works. Why we are going to do that? So that we can dispose of drainage water without interrupting the continuous supply, canal supply. So we want canal supply continuous and we don't want to interrupt the water in the natural drain. So for that we have to construct some structure. Maybe the structure can be over the drainage, it can be below the drainage, or it can be at the same level. So there are three possibilities. So depending upon the location, the names or the structure will be named differently, but their purpose is same. They will be constructed to cross the drain. In whatever way the canal is aligned, such cross drainage works generally becomes unavoidable. So if a canal like irrigation project is there, so it will be covering a very huge area. So it is very much likely that we are going to encounter some kind of drains. It can be small drains, big drains. Big drains means river is there, some natural canal is there, natural streams are there, so we cannot avoid these. So these are very much like we have to plan for these type of structure. In order to reduce the cross drainage works, the artificial canals are generally aligned along the ridge line canal watershed. Okay, so if we are aligning our canal along the ridge line, so we can reduce the number of cross drainage works, because these are very huge investment, they are requiring very huge investment. So we have to avoid them, but practically we are not in a position to avoid them. So what we can do, we can reduce their number. So let us say if they are supposed like 10 cross drainage works we are going to encounter, so we will try to reduce it to 5, 3, whatever number we can reduce, it will be beneficial for us only. So once the canal reaches the watershed line, cross drainage works are generally not required unless the canal alignment is deviated from the watershed line. So these things we have covered in the canal chapter, that is second chapter. So you can refer there. What is this watershed line? In future it will, the contour will be there, contour alignment. So just go to those lectures, you will get a clear picture. However, before the watershed is reached, the canal which takes off from the river has to cross a number of drains which move from the watershed towards the river. This you can see from this picture. This figure is showing what it is showing. This is a river, okay, and these are small drains are there. So we have to cross. This C1 is there, C2 is there, C3 is there, C4 is there. So this is the canal. So we have to cross these lines via this crossing C1. At all the crossing C1, C2, C3, C4, cross drainage works are required. If crossing is there, so this is canal, this is natural river stream, so we have to cross this. So these are the structures which are required at the crossing. Okay, so a cross drainage work is generally a costly construction and must be avoided, as I have told you. Since a water canal or a ridge canal crosses minimum number of drains, such an alignment is preferred to a contour canal which crosses maximum number of drains. So if we are using a contour canal, so we have to cross, it is the case of maximum crossing. That's why we are preferring the watershed canal. Okay, the number of cross drainage works may also be reduced by diverting one drain into another and by changing the alignment of the canal so that it crosses below the junction of two drains. So what we can do, if like we have to do some kind of this structure, we have to construct this type of structure. So what we can do, we can join two of the drains so that we can avoid one crossing we can avoid easily. So let me just show you what I want to tell you. Like this is one stream, okay, and we have to cross this, and some kind of drain is also here. So what we can do, we can join these and we can simply cross this, okay. So in this way, instead of 3 crossings we can make only 2 crossings. Now let us see what are the types of cross drainage works. So depending upon the, as I have told you in the starting only, position of the canal, we can name them differently. First is aqueduct or siphon aqueduct. So in these works, the canal is taken over the natural drain. So you can see this is our canal. Sorry. So this is our canal. So canal is taken over. This dot means the drain is below this canal. Canal is over the drain. So if it is the case, then this will be termed as aqueduct. Now, when the HFL, high flood level of the drain, is sufficiently below the bottom of the canal. So this is bottom of the canal and HFL is somewhere here, okay. So it is sufficiently below so that the drainage water flow freely under gravity. The structure is known as aqueduct. If the flow is occurring under gravity, where in the drainage, then actually we are not disturbing any kind of disturbance is not there due to canal in the drain. So water will flow under gravity. This type of canal will be termed as aqueduct. Cross drainage will be termed as aqueduct, okay. But what if the HFL of the drain is higher than the canal bed? You can see this picture. This is aqueduct. This is aqueduct. So canal is there, HFL is there, so gap is there. So this is aqueduct. But if FHL is higher, so you can see here, this is HFL of drain, this is bottom of canal. So you can see it is above the canal bed. So we have to, then the water will be under siphonic action. Siphon you might have studied in fluid mechanics. Just go and revise those lectures. You will easily get what I want to say. So if the HFL of the drain is higher than the canal bed and the water passes through the aqueduct barrels under the siphonic action, then those structures will be termed as siphon aqueduct. So in this type of work, the canal water is taken across the drainage in a trough support on piers. So we have to make piers, we have to make a huge investment here because we are crossing the drain, and inspection road is generally provided along with the trough. An aqueduct is just like a bridge, except that instead of carrying a road or a railway, it carries a canal on its top. Okay, so you might have, all of you might have seen the bridge. So in bridge, what is there? Like it can be rail bridge, it can be road bridge. So instead of carrying the road or a rail, this bridge is carrying a canal. Simply you can relate to it. Now the second is super passage and siphon. So first one was canal was below the canal was above the drain. Now in this case, drain is above the canal. You can see the dotted lines are for canals, so canal is below. So in these works, the drain is taken over the canal such that the canal water runs below the drain either freely or under siphonic pressure. When FSL of the canal is sufficiently, just it is a reverse case of aqueduct. Okay, so there FSL of drain was sufficiently below, here FSL of canal is sufficiently below the bottom of the drain, so that canal water flow freely under gravity. The structure is known as super passage. You can see in this diagram as well. So this is the diagram. You can see. Wait. So you can see this is drain, this is canal. Just like that, if FSL of the canal is sufficiently above the bed level of the drain, so that the canal flow under siphoning action under the trough. The structure is termed as canal, siphon, or simply siphon. A superpassage is thus the reverse of aqueduct, and a siphon is reverse of an aqueduct siphon. Clear? Just we have to check the location, and accordingly we can just analyze that what type of structure is this. Now level crossing. As the name is suggesting, the crossing is happening, level means at the same altitude. So the crossing is happening in such a way that the canal and the drain is at the same level. In this type of cross drainage works, the canal water and drain water are allowed to intermingle. Okay, so they will be flowing something like this. Okay, so gates will be here to control the water, and accordingly we can open or shut the gates. But the main thing is that the canal and the drain is at the same level. A level crossing is generally provided when a large canal and a huge drain. So both are very huge. It is not possible to carry the canal or a drain one above another. Okay, so that's why we have to. There is no option except to avoid the allow the crossing. So we have to intermingle the water. A regulator is provided across the drain just on the downstream side of the crossing, so as to control the discharge passing into the drain. At the outgoing canal, a regulator is also. So I have told you the gates are the regulators, which will be regulating the amount of water in the drain as well as the canal. The quantity will depend upon the requirement of that particular area or in particular season. Like in winters, there is less requirement of water, so we can close the gates. In summers, irrigation water also, and normally water requirement is high, so we will allow the water from drain to flow into the canal. Now, what are the criteria for selection of a suitable type of cross drainage works? So these are few criteria. Let us see them quickly. The relative bed levels, we have to check the water level of drain as well as canal before constructing any type of cross drainage works. However, in actual field, such ideal conditions may not be available, and the choice would be dependent on many other factors. So, first is water level. Simply, we cannot see, like theoretically, we can say that if it is above, it is below, this type of structure is created. But practically in field, the situation is different. So, what are those situations? So, suitable canal alignment. If canal alignment is not as per the requirement, so we may have to create or construct more number of cross drainage works, which is not suitable. So this we have to take care. Nature of the available foundation, because the structure is heavy, so foundation should also be according to that. Position of water table and availability of dewatering equipment, suitability of soil for embankment, permissible head loss in the canal, availability of funds. So these are some of the points which we have to take care while constructing a cross drainage work or selecting a site for that. So this is the part 1 of your last unit. Part 2, I will be providing you notes. Just go through them. They are very much self-explanatory. And if you are having any kind of doubt, you are free to ask me. Okay. So this is from my side. This is over. Your course is complete. And all the best for your future. Thank you.